We asked Glenn Frey's brother, Alan Frey, about some of the negative editorials that are on YouTube about the Eagles. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music. This is part 3 of a 5-parter of my conversation with Alan Frey, who is Glenn Frey's younger brother. He's the middle brother. And you don't have to go far in print and on YouTube to see some negativity when it comes to especially Don Henley and Glenn Frey of the Eagles. There's always fans and, well, former fans who want to talk trash and build up some wild conspiracy theories on why some members are still there and while other members have left the band. A few years ago, I talked to a fairly well-known rock and roller, and he shared something with me off the record. That's why I'm not saying his name. He says, I know being a rock star comes with negativity sometimes. You can't please everyone. Sometimes even on a bad day or a bad year, you are a polarizing figure. Maybe not like the Kardashians, but basically you're split in the middle. Half the people love you, the other half don't love you. But he told me, he says, my family reads this stuff. I'm a human being too. And it kind of stuck with me all these years. And when I'm doing these videos to remember that, okay, it is par for the course for them to get negativity. They're in the kitchen, they're going to get the heat, but I always remember who they are. I try to remember and try to be fair on coming up with stuff that will get a lot of hits, because you can say anything in a title of a video to get hits. And the more negative you are sometimes, the more hits you're going to get, which is something we don't do on this channel. I asked Alan Frey, Glenn Frey's brother, how that affected him and his family.
Yeah, I don't like all that opinionation stuff, because all of it's hearsay. The Eagles were a tight-knit group. They kept personal problems or anything else like that, relationships. That was all inside information. They stayed away from the media purposely. And, with a good business vision in mind, they figured if they stayed out of the spotlight when they came out, everybody would go, wow, what have they been doing for the last couple of years? I got to go see them. Besides that, the personal stuff involved, it's not really anybody's business. And when people speculate and their fangs come out or they take sides or stuff like that, but you got to realize people evolve from day to day. They get more mature. They get more, what was once pissed Glenn off 2 weeks later or so, he'd be able to smooth it over just so he could digest it properly, and it wouldn't become a different story, it would become a milder story. So all these things are passé. The one thing that's important is the music survives. It doesn't matter who was in the band or who left, what was the ceramics around those people leaving, or who's mad at who, or who's with someone else's old lady, or any of that stuff. People evolve. They're able to digest their shortcomings. They, have made mistakes. So a lot of this stuff is old, hashed out. But you got to remember, a lot of these bands, they were between 18 and 30 years old. And that's not the most mature stages of life that you can believe. And there's a lot of pressure on them guys, You sign a 3-record deal, by the end of 2 records, you're out of songs, and the record company's calling you. They want that 3rd album, and you end up putting out a bunch of fillers that you're not so proud of, and, it creates a lot of pressure. Your last album's got to be as big as the next album, and, I give these guys a lot of breaks. That's not an easy life. People think it's a cakewalk and things like that. Being on the road is not a fun thing. There's flying involved, there's hotels, there's strange people, there's you get to cities and you don't know where you're going, and someone else has to drive, and you're away from your family. It's not an easy life.
On a lighter note, while I was talking to Alan Frey, Glenn Frey's brother, I asked him how he felt about his older brother being the actor. Remember now, Glenn Frey was in Jerry Maguire, Nash Bridges, and Miami Vice, just to name a few.
Yeah, he's a pretty good actor. He admitted that acting was a lot harder than being a musician, because okay, now you got to be mad. Okay, now you got to be sad. He said that's a lot different than being a musician. He liked it, and Don Johnson still remains a friend of ours. And he hugged me at Glenn's tribute to his life at the Forum a couple of years back, and I'm glad to have him as a friend. Hell of a nice guy. His daughter's doing real well.
We'll have another few clips with Alan Frey, Glenn Frey's brother, coming up next Thursday. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. This is Rock History Music.